This video marks the beginning of a journey for me on YouTube. And that journey is dealing with certain aspects of my schizoid personality disorder, which is the tendency to live a completely isolated lifestyle and to be unable to connect with other people to such a degree that you don't really connect to yourself. And I've been dealing with it for a long time, so many of the features of it, like not expressing at all or feeling unreal, or it's multifactorial. But honestly, the biggest problem that I have, and I made a video about it before that I'll link in the description, but what I have come to understand about just introspecting and having my wife and the people in my life help me with this problem is what it's one big thing, and the core of it, for me at least, is that I don't value other people. Other people exist, and that's it. They're like, I've always likened them to trees. Walking to the forest, you don't think about the trees. And that's kind of a feature of autism too. Like, they don't necessarily sense the presence of other people, maybe not even when they're talking straight at them. But my largest problem is valuing others. And it is standing firmly in the way of my marriage, my development at work, my maintenance with friends, and my self esteem. And it seems to a lot of people to be so automatic. And they just hear me say this. It's like, what do you mean that you don't value other people? It's not that I don't like them. I like plenty of people in the sense that in short bursts I can talk to them and they're not problematic and maybe they make me laugh or I make them laugh and that's all wonderful. But at the end of the day, it seems to me that my biggest problem is that they're not important. Society is not important. The biosphere, this planet, and all planets in the universe are not important to me. What is important to me is retreating into my cave and being alone because the hyperstimulation and all of the chaotic negative thoughts and just many things make it impossible for me to not maintain a honest, reasonable image of people in my life, an image of humanity in general. I know, in other words, I know that I'm wrong. I know that I'm wrong because it's a personality disorder. It's really difficult to break free. And I also link to a post I made on Reddit. I think was it turned out really well, and people really helped me and gave me just a perspective that I forgot about for a while. It's hard to keep all this stuff in my head, but this judgmental stuff is just horrid. It's just like just this poisonous spit comes out of my mouth every time that I think about someone that isn't my wife, even if it's me. Like, she's the only person that I can constantly view as a good thing. Not literally constantly, but it's not a problem for me to view her as good. But even people that are growing rapidly close to me, it's so hard for me to not be like, fuck that guy, piece of drooling idiot. I hate when he comes over. I don't want to fucking deal with him. He's never going to change, and I just don't give a shit. And it will just pour out of my mouth. And my wife recently has told me, it's like, I've been married to you for 6 years, and I am fucking sick of this, and it's going to end somehow. And she's right. So I thought that maybe I should film it and put it on YouTube and just share my insights as to why I am this way and what I am doing specifically to value other people. Am I reflecting on them? Am I holding myself in comparison to them to see whether or not I can see them as a good person, as someone that is worth engaging with? Can I exercise my capacity to be around others for longer periods of time? Can I expand my interest? Can I do the impossible, which is to cure myself of schizoid personality disorder? And the autism exacerbates it. Many schizoids are also on the schizophrenia spectrum as well, not just the autism spectrum. But just anything that makes it very difficult to explain yourself and to empathize with others leads you to be alone. And if you do this alone thing for long enough, then it just becomes your comfort zone, and it's like sitting in an isolation chamber for too long. You start to go crazy. And I've done so much in my life to try and break through this problem, but it's not enough. I have more work to do. And if you have any advice as to how you value other people, how you maybe you hold them as prizes in your life, like you can't even believe that you're so privileged to have these people in your life. And if you want an explanation, I'll work on one. I mean, just speaking off the top of my head, like my family was totally dysfunctional. It didn't. I wasn't loved by my mother, and my father didn't know what to do, and my siblings didn't really help me. And when the friends went away, you realize, fuck, I have a lot of time ahead of me where there's going to be no one. Even if I have a driver's license, I'm an alcoholic. Recently I did the entire month of January without any alcohol, and it went just fine. And I'm very glad that I'm starting to get away from it. But schizoids abuse alcohol and marijuana specifically, and they kind of just switch in between the two because they want to be constantly removed from the environment around them. They don't like being in contact with the world. They don't like being in contact with themselves. It's painful to connect to any of these things, and it leads them to be so numb that I don't really know if there's a comparison to that. And it's not like my wife doesn't have problems, and I have friends that have problems psychiatrically. There's many neurodiverse people in my life, and many people that I've met online and in person that are neurodiverse. But I am sick of bad mouthing people behind the scenes, and it's like as involuntary as a sneeze. It just happens, and I don't want to do it anymore. And I kind of want to tell the world how I'm accomplishing that. I'm confident in myself. I think that it's going to be over soon. And I really, really hope that the change in my life can turn into change in other people's lives. And thank you for listening.